Well, hey, good evening, friends. Dennis LaRue here, and before we jump into the hashtag steeltoesrequired quote of the week, episode number 32, I want to take a moment to wish all of you out there a happy Mother's Day. I know my mom watches, so happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love you, and I'll be giving you a call right after this. But for those of you out there, happy Mother's Day. I hope you had a great day. Husbands, children, I hope you took care of your moms today, because we all know that Mom has taken care of you. So, moms, we love you out there. Hope you had an awesome day. But now, it's time to put your steel toes on. Get them on. We've got a powerful quote tonight. And it's one that came to me. The first time I heard this quote goes back to when I was in high school, and it was at a banquet. Hey, Mom, glad you're here. The banquet was my cross-country and track banquet, and during that season, we finished an undefeated season. And for those that were on that team, it was my junior year. Our seniors that were graduating, they finished their entire junior high and high school career in cross-country undefeated in league play. Undefeated in meets. Incredible. And on the back of our program that I remember is when I first saw this quote. It was a quote from, and it's attributed to Vince Lombardi, but it's also goes back further than that. It goes back to the author Napoleon Hill. And here's the quote. It was, "Winners never quit, and quitters never win." I remember reading that, and I remember that knocking me off my socks. I remember getting fired up. I was ready to, when I read that internally, I was ready to go race. I was ready to go run. It energized me, as it does right now as I'm sharing it with you. It's a quote that is powerful. So for those of you watching, our quote again is attributed to Napoleon Hill, and the late great Napoleon Hill author, and also Vince Lombardi, the great coach. The trophy for the NFL Super Bowl is named after him, and they both said it. So worthy representations of this quote, and it's, "Winners never quit, and quitters never win." Now, for those of you that have watched here now, episode 32, you know that there are two words in particular that are bad words. They are cuss words. And to say them drives me crazy. But I'm going to share them with you because I'm going to share the third one. I discovered the third one. The first two are average. Ugh. Average. Ugh. Mediocre. Oh, yuck. Awful words. Terrible. They just sound awful. And here's the other one. Quit. Quit. What an awful sounding word. And you know, it attacks us daily. That word quit is a powerful word. And for me, it kills me. The idea of quitting, and even saying that word quit, makes me go back to the show Happy Days. So I'm going a long way back. For those of you that watch TV, or maybe the TV land or YouTube, there's a TV show called Happy Days. And in that TV series was the cool Arthur Fonzarelli, the Fonz, leather jacket, slicked back hair, rode the motorcycle. He was Mr. Joe Cool. He was the man. But there was one thing. Whenever he was wrong, whenever he did something that was actually wrong, and it was very rare, and that he needed to apologize for it, when he had to go say he was sorry, that word was so foreign to him, it sounded like this. He would say, "I'm I was." He couldn't say it, but everybody in the room understood what he meant. Same thing with quit. I don't like to say that word. It's awful. It's an awful word. Let me ask you something. Now notice in our quote, it says, it didn't say winners never lose. Did you notice that? It said winners never quit. There's a big difference between losing and quitting. It's like I mentioned cross country and racing. A person that loses finished the race. A quitter gets in the newspapers. If you see some of the big names that race, you'll see a DNS, which means did not start. That may be because of injuries or whatever. But then those that actually start and don't finish, they get this, DNF, did not finish. And in some cases, it's because of injuries, but ultimately and sometimes it's quit. Now, I've run a marathon, and I know what it feels like when the pain is set in, and everything aches and everything hurts, and the only thing you have left is your mind. And your mind is listening to the aches of your body, and it is dialed in saying, hey, let's just give this up. Let's try this again another day. Let's just quit. So where is that in your life? Where is that in your life where everything is just not going your way? You've set a goal for yourself. You've set a goal for your business. You've set a goal at work. You've set some type of goal, and you're pursuing that goal. And everything within you aches. And everything within you says it's time to quit. Oh, see, it's hard to say it. Quit. Because winners never quit. Now, I've taken this these Strength Finders test, Strength Finders 2.0, and it gives you your top 5 strengths. And I've taken it twice. I took it years ago, back in I think 2008 or 9, and then I took it again just a couple of years ago. And actually, my strengths differed in my top 5, but there was one strength out of that top 5 that stayed consistent both times I took it. And you know which one it was? Competitive. Now, those of you that have watched these before, you've heard me mention that. I'm very competitive. And that competitiveness is why I can't stand quitting. It's all about winning. Winners never quit. Winners lose. Winners do lose, but they don't quit. And notice it said quitters never win. It didn't say losers never win, because losers do win. Those people who do lose eventually win. They do win. But quitters will never win. You see, here's what quitting is. Quitting is, and I wrote this down, so I want to share this with you. Quitting is this. Quitting is about character. It's about your character. Because when you quit, it's an outer action caused by inner belief. When you quit, it's an inner conviction that comes outward. And that's a character reference. Now, if you remember from last week, we talked about the formula. The formula. Character, circumstances, all of that. If you don't like where you're at and where you are, then it goes all the way back to the beginning with thoughts. Thoughts become beliefs. Beliefs become actions. Actions over time are your habits, and your habits over time are your character and your circumstances. So quitting, if you're battling with quitting, follow that formula. If you are having quitting type actions, then it goes back to somewhere in your belief system. It's in your habits. You need to make some tweaks. Those tweaks go back to actions and beliefs. What is it inside of you that is telling you to quit and that you're actually doing it? What is that belief in you that says, I got to quit? I need to quit. There was a reason you set that goal in the first place. There was a reason that you wanted to go in a certain direction. And there was a reason that came to your awareness that you latched onto and said, I want to do that. And I'm going to put that down and pursue it. Folks, if it were easy, everybody would do it. And here's what we found out. Those of you that know this, if it's easy all the time, then you're not challenging yourself. Nothing worthwhile is easy. John Maxwell says it this way. Everything worthwhile is uphill. That's a fact. You've got to work hard to get there. And the winners will continue to pursue that goal. Now, in pursuing that goal, you're going to have some losses. And winners will make the necessary adjustments in order to stay on course to reach the top of that hill. Quitters will stop, turn around, and they're done. I'll tell you one thing. Here's a story that reminds me about quitting. You see, there was a season in my life where I hunted. I lived in Pennsylvania, northeastern Pennsylvania, and it was an official day off from school to hunt for deer because people lived off of it. So for those of you listening to this, if you're not a hunter, listen to the story just for a moment, please. I'm sitting out there, the very last time I ever hunted. I'm sitting out back. It is raining. It is just awful. It is terrible. And I'm sitting there thinking, what am I doing out here? What am I doing out here? I'd never got a deer. There was no guarantee I was even going to hit it if I saw one, quite frankly. I was not a very good shot, okay? But the weather was abysmal. And you know what? The voice in my head said this: give it up. Just quit. And you know what? I did. That's what I wanted to do. I quit. I gave it up. It's the last time I hunted. I got up out of my spot. I probably spooked some deer if there were any there and walked right back to the house. And I went right back to bed. That's right. I quit. I said it. I quit. I quit. I gave up. I was done. I haven't hunted. I don't think I've hunted since then. But the point is this: winners never quit. I quit. It's not something I wanted to do anymore. But the things that I wanted to do, the goals that I set, that inspired me, I moved forward. And there are setbacks. I have setbacks. I have them all the time. I have losses. They're just course corrections to get me on the path so I can win. Winners always learn. Quitters never learn. Write that down. Winners always learn. Quitters never learn. So there it is. There it is, my friends. That's what was on my mind with this quote. It inspires me. As a matter of fact, I want to close, before we get to the blessing, I want to share with you from Napoleon Hill. This is his book right here. Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. This is my edition of it. Think and Grow Rich. It's in chapter 7. And this is what he said about this quote when I read this recently. He said this. Let me find it. I'm sorry. He said, a quitter never wins and a winner never quits. Lift this sentence out, write it on a piece of paper in letters an inch high, and place it where you will see it every night before you go to bed and every morning when you get up and go to work. I completely agree with that statement. That's how powerful that statement is. When you read that every single day and tie that to your goals, your faith, you're going to be a winner. And that's what I desire for you. So there it is. Winners never quit. Quitters never win, from Napoleon Hill. So as we wrap up this Mother's Day edition, it's time for the blessing. I pray the blessing of bread, that you know no hunger. I pray the blessing of salt, that your life would be flavorful and your life would be flavorful to others. And I pray the blessing of wine, that joy and prosperity would be yours, and that the love of God would be your portion this day and forevermore. Thank you again for watching. My name is Dennis LaRue, your wingman, and you've been watching #SteelToesRequired Quote of the Week. We'll see you next Sunday, and bye for now.